Before we start today's episode, I have something special to share with you. For context, I'm recording this in 2025, and you might be listening to an episode that was recorded months or even over a year ago. But I want to talk to you today because if you are ready within the next year to heal your anxious attachment and become secure and leave overthinking and stop doubting your worth and stop chasing love, then this is going to be for you. My Becoming Secure membership last year was a content membership, which meant that every week the members would get a new piece of content, a video or a guided somatic practice for them to learn from and journey with. And it was kind of sporadic in terms of ideas, but there was a lot of content. And then at the end of the year, I started to ask everyone, what do you need? What would make this 10 times better? And I got very consistent feedback, which was that they want to get to know each other more because they're seeing in the comments how all of their experiences are so related. They want to be on live calls and they want more accountability. And honestly, I agreed with them because I want you to be able to have the biggest possible transformation within my containers. So I decided for this year to put all my eggs in one basket, in the membership basket, and I have revamped the entire space to Becoming Secure 2.0. This membership is a women's group. It's a live call membership with 2 live calls a month, plus the content library. So that entire content library from last year, you're going to get that too when you join us. But above all, it's a place for you to truly learn the embodiment of secure. And that means knowing in every cell of your body that you're enough, that you're lovable, that you know exactly what you're doing, and feeling centered, peaceful, and self-assured within your entire system. Being and becoming secure gives you a recurring place to process, to grow, to drop in, to be guided, to be in your body, and to anchor into that version of yourself that no longer questions her worth or is overthinking or just stuck in anxiety spirals. And it's going to give you a place to practice the somatic work that I talk about all the time. And it's my absolute honor to be able to hold you and the other women in this container. So to celebrate the start of the year and a 12-month curriculum, which I created, so every month has a new theme, I went ahead and I discounted the annual price by 40%, which means you are basically getting 5 months free if you commit for a year, and it drops the price from $77 a month to $46 a month when you pay in full for the entire year. So if this is speaking to your heart, if you know that this is the type of environment that would be supportive in your next level growth, then I would be thrilled to meet you within the community. So you already know that I've put the link in the show notes for you. I recommend checking it out, feeling into it. Is this going to be supportive? And if you know that it is, and you're willing to go all in on yourself, your healing era, your healing journey, your nervous system, your emotional wellness this year, then I cannot wait to welcome you inside. All right, let's get into today's episode. Thank you for being here. Hello, welcome into another episode. We're going to dive right into it because I want to bring to light this very obvious topic, which is the reason that you're here is so much different than wanting to necessarily have better boundaries or do some shadow work or change your mindset. What you are actually after is the love of your life. What you are actually wanting here is a deeply loving relationship with someone who chooses you, who is consistent with you, who is attractive and strong and in their power, someone who you feel like you can grow beside, someone who challenges you in all the right ways, someone you feel like you are coming home to, and someone that you can lean into and be yourself with and be totally accepted by. And that is the love that I wish for you too. And so often what I see happening in the women that I work with is that they have so much to offer. Like you have so much to offer. You're competent, you're creative, you're beautiful, you're good at conversation. I'm just assuming all these things about you because I just already know. And then it comes to relationship. You end up picking these guys who are just giving you breadcrumbs, and you end up in this cycle where you take the attention because it feels so good, and then they pull away and that feels so bad, but you've put them on such a pedestal that you keep wanting to prove your worth and show them that you can be the person to give them this love. And it's just so heartbreaking to watch. And also I can honor the version of me that did exactly that, that could pick out the man in the room who probably didn't want a relationship at all, could flirt my way into getting his attention, and then ended up in a usually 2 to 3 to 6 month cycle of seeing him here and there and feeling really excited when he wanted to go on a date or spend time together, and then feeling really devastated that it wasn't actually going in any upward momentum. It was like the connection may have deepened slightly, and that's what felt like progress, but the commitment actually never deepened. And this is something that I'm just seeing in my mind's eye now for the first time, and thinking of multiple clients that I've also talked to through this process, where it feels like there's forward momentum because maybe the amount of time you spend together increases and the depth that you know them likely really increases. But the reality is that the level of commitment that they are giving you, whether it's talking about the future, just naming to you how they are looking into the future with you, bringing you around and into their life, that is what actually stays at the 0 point from the beginning. And this is what makes it so painful, because it is no denying that you have deepened in a relationship with this person, and at the same time you're not getting your needs met. So I see this trap happening over and over, and I'm just here to tell you that you have so much more to offer than that. And there's an option here where the men that you attract are the ones that are chasing you down, that are being patient for you if that's what you need, the ones that are asking you for your number, following up with you, organizing dates, picking you up, doing thoughtful things, and really creating a life with you, planning future travels with you, talking about what they see for the future of their life and their kids and marriage. And it doesn't feel like this faraway thing that has nothing to do with you. It feels like now with you, because they're giving you that type of energy and choosing attention. And it's not that men don't know how to do that. In fact, when they are ready to do that, they're actually pretty quick to be committal when they're ready. So often happens is we end up chasing the ones that actually are unavailable to give us that. And that chasing the uncatchable rabbit, or whatever metaphor we can put into it, is a sign that I don't believe that I am actually worthy of being chosen. So I'm going to put my sights on this unattainable target to continue to prove to myself this underlying belief that I have that I'm not worthy of it. So let's talk about the woman who is, the woman who naturally can just sit in herself, in her energy, and the men seem to just flock to her. Maybe there's someone that you know like this. Maybe you felt like this at times in your life. Maybe you can think of this person through a show or a movie that you know. We know this archetype, this woman who just naturally gets the attention of men. People want to date her. They want to commit to her. She's always in committed relationships. Her husband, maybe you know her as a wife already, and her husband is just completely doting to her and devoted to her. But at the same time, he's still this like super manly man who's like driven and wants to be a provider. And I might not be painting your perfect picture. I'm just giving you an example. So I want you to feel into this woman. And the difference is this sense of self-assuredness. So a woman who is deep in herself just doesn't need validation or attention in the same way that someone who is disconnected from themselves does, right? So of course, your work is deepening this connection to yourself. And this can honestly just come through spending time with yourself, figuring out what you like, and actually giving it to yourself. I'm so guilty of this, of knowing what I like and being unwilling to give it to myself. Now, what mirror am I putting out into the world with that behavior? I'm putting out the mirror of, well, I don't give to me. I don't choose me. I don't go over and above for me. I don't treat me. I don't treat me with kindness like a precious princess that I want someone else to treat me with. So why would anyone else, right? We are just a mirror. Whatever we're receiving from the external world is a mirror to something within us. And sometimes we get these beautiful experiences where someone is mirroring to us something much deeper than we can see within ourselves, or they see us in a way where they can really acknowledge the truth of who you are, that kind, beautiful, talented woman. But sometimes we're lost from that. And so back to the point of what I was saying, if I'm not treating myself like I would want to be treated by someone else, then of course I'm just not going to attract that. So the woman who is attracting dream men, high level men, highly committing, loving, conscious, deep men is deep within herself, and she's able to be present within herself, and she's able to stay in her own body. She's able to honor her boundaries and her needs, and she makes sure that she's taken care of first and foremost, so that she can show up as the girlfriend or as the partner who is the lover and is in devotion and is able to receive, because she has her own internal safety. Sometimes what men can feel is our lack of foundation within ourselves. And if we don't have a safe place within our own energetic body, within your spine or your heart or your solar plexus, wherever you feel it, or your mind, maybe however you see it, if we don't have that, then we're kind of constantly in a more of a swimming energy. We don't feel our feet on the ground. And so when we meet someone who does have that, or who we are projecting onto that we want this thing from them, then we sort of start to lean our energy onto them in a way that doesn't feel good. It feels like taking energy or collapsing energy. And as a woman who actually can handle herself really well, and who probably handles your job and your own household, it's almost not really rooted in reality that you need to be falling in that way, or tipping into any of this needy or desperate energy, because you actually have all the skills and the evidence that you've been taking care of yourself for likely the last decade, if not more. So we're what do I want to say, basically healing this inner imbalance, the part of us that is scared or doesn't want to have to take care of ourselves, or is a little bit flaily, victim, collapse, right? This is the wounded feminine. And calling on the part of us that is like, wait a minute, I am the whole package here. I know what I have to offer. I have refined myself over the years. I have learned and learned and learned about who I am and what I want and what I like and what feels good in my body. You actually have it all, and you know it all. And it's when you walk through the world with this energy that you will start to attract people that see it clearly, that want to commit into the relationship instead of this chasing energy. So being this woman, embodying yourself as this woman, also requires us to keep an eye on the energy that we bring into dynamics, the energy that we bring into a romantic relationship that we likely want to be polarized and connecting and flirtatious. When we bring in subtle energies of control or of mothering, we're likely going to shut that down really quickly. And this can be completely unconscious. So this can show up in really taking the role of the pursuer, the one that's organizing everything, or kind of going over and above to figure out details or try and make an exciting plan for you guys. I understand where that comes from. I've done it. It comes from this excitement of, I want to spend time with you, and I want you, like, I want us to do something you want, and I want him to have a good time, and I want him to like me, so I'm going to show him. It's very pursuer energy. And it can be really easy for women to sort of swipe the masculine role out from a guy's feet pretty quickly. But again, what you actually need to be doing is sitting back, receiving, and experiencing him. When we allow ourselves to be in the present moment enough to experience the person that we're meeting, rather than in the future making up stories or fantasy, or in the past overthinking what's happened, but really allow ourselves to be present and experience him, that's how we decide through the moment and through our body how we are feeling with this person. And the thing is that women, we only have so many eggs, right? And because lots of our behaviors are driven by our biological functions, our body is actually wanting to be very conservative with who we consider letting get close to this egg. So if the person literally smells bad to you, like the pheromones are just off, you might not realize that consciously because it's very subtle, but there might be something within your body that's just like, no, this actually wouldn't be a good reproductive match. But just to take this concept broader, it just shows us that the woman is actually the one selecting. You should be seated back, witnessing, receiving. A man, he has basically endless ability to procreate like multiple times a day, right? And we do not. So we need to be able to be discerning. It's not a show where you need to perform for him. He needs to perform for you. And obviously not literally. And this isn't about setting up any sort of manipulation situation. We want it to be organic and pure and just fun along the way also. But I just want to give you the energetic orientation of how different it is to be the one seated back and receiving versus the one engaged and penetrating your energy into the dynamic. If you want to be with a man who is in his pursuing of his career, success driven, a provider, then he needs to be able to trust that you can handle yourself. There are quite a few teachers in the space of sacred union and polarity that talk about this idea of and men's work that talk about the idea that a man's purpose actually has to come before his relationship. And the reason that is because if men aren't committed to their purpose, there will be something missing in the flow of their energy most of the time. And I made a TikTok video not long ago talking about this. So there's two scenarios. If a man is in his purpose, but it's not fully fledged yet, like he's kind of just figuring it out, maybe he's really into his art or his ideation stage, he will likely not commit to you because that is his number one priority right now, and it's taking all the different parts of him. Now, on the other side of that, there's the man lost for purpose. He doesn't know where he's going, what he's doing. He's kind of flailing around, unsure, maybe not even really working towards it. That man might commit to you. He might even have a lot of time for you. But that usually comes with this very interesting sort of mommy issues dynamic where he's now looking for you to lead him or looking for you to take care of him so he doesn't have to lead himself. And the reason that I'm telling you this is because I want you to understand how you can best set yourself up for success in a dynamic for what you want. So again, if you want a man who is going to be in his purpose, remember that that takes his capacity. So he needs to be able to trust you. That is where this whole loop started. I'm just pulling myself back here. He needs to be able to trust that you can handle yourself, and that trust gives him what feels like, freedom to be able to be in his other energies and get everything done that he needs and wants to do and be in production mode and generating mode. Most men have quite a high value for freedom. And freedom can absolutely be cultivated in a romantic dynamic so that both partners feel that they can express in the way that they want to and create and move their life force energy through the universe in a way that feels expansive and not restricting, right? A man, like anyone else, like us, like an animal, does not want to be caged or bossed around or controlled. So a woman who is attracting this type of man is not doing that. And we don't do that when we trust ourselves, when we know how to take care of ourselves. And then the moment that he is there offering us the presence that he now has because we didn't drain it through any nitpicking, nagging, draining behavior, we get to have all of him again. You get to have all of him in those moments, in the evenings, in the dates, whatever it is. But if your energetic tentacles of control and handling things are reaching out, it's likely not going to create the result that you want. I really don't want this episode to sound like you have to do this and you can't do that and shaming any behavior or anything. What I'm actually revealing to you here is what I have studied and learned, practiced embodying, and what has also worked for me and other clients in terms of magnetizing this type of relationship. So I'm trying to paint the picture of how it works well and where it sometimes doesn't work well. And I hope that that's landed for you with inspiration and just like a feeling of connected to your power and your capability, because you really are the prize. And if there's things getting in the way of that prize, of reaping the benefits of being that prize, then that's when we go back to look within, to deepen our connection within, and to maybe learn about how we're holding ourselves energetically, how our masculine and feminine energy is balanced. Within my Becoming Secure community that I mention in almost every episode, we've been going really deep on the topic of masculine and feminine. So the 3 out of the last 4 weeks, I'm pretty sure every training has been about the being more in your feminine energy. The next one is actually also going to be about that because there's just so much that I have to say about this topic. So now, if there wasn't a good time before, now would be an excellent time to come into the space, because this is a topic that's very alive and you will get access to well over an hour more discussion about this topic, what that means to be in your feminine, how to balance your masculine and feminine, the role that your masculine energy plays, and how it all leads to creating polarized, loving dynamics where you get to soften, to receive, to be fully held, without feeling that you need to reach or grasp or be out of control. I think I'm going to end it there. That feels like the end of the stream of consciousness that was running through me to the point where I just needed to set up my microphone, and it's on a small little garbage can in the bedroom where I'm staying right now, because I was like, these ideas they're coming through now. So there it is for you. Would love to hear your reflections or insights. Meet you inside the Becoming Secure membership that's linked in the show notes for you. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.